Hello, people. I am Charlie Simmons, and I am a slacker. And this is my take on Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. Okay, so when I started watching this movie, I went in sort of knowing all the basics. Harry Potter is an orphan who came from magical parents, and then his parents were killed by this asshole dark wizard named Voldemort. So Harry is left with his totally snooty aunt, uncle and cousin, the Dursleys, who treat him like a freak because he's magic. When one day, a giant named Hagrid shows up, busts down their door and says, "You're a wizard, Harry!" And and he basically just kidnaps Harry to take him off to Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. Seriously, that actually kind of bothers me. Like, did they try to call the police? Did the Dursleys try to call the police that their nephew was taken away by a giant bearded man in a coat who broke into their summer home and whisked him away to some far-off remote location? Then again, I wouldn't blame them if they didn't call the police, because as far as I can tell so far, nobody fucks with Hagrid, especially not the Dursleys. Anyhow, Harry is whisked off to learn the ways of the wizarding world at Hogwarts, where he soon meets his two best friends-to-be, Ron Weasley and Hermione Granger. And pretty soon, the three young wizards are thrown into a conspiracy within their school involving the return of Voldemort, their potion teacher Professor Snape, who may or may not be evil, and the Philosopher's Stone, which can make this magic juice that apparently makes people immortal. Now, what did I think of the movie? Well, I can describe it best in one word: wonderful. It's just a wonderful movie. It's a wonderful family movie. It's a wonderful fantasy movie. It's just oozing with wonder out of every pore. I mean, this book, The Philosopher's Stone, I've never read it, but I wish I had some pages right now just so I can see how accurately they brought to the screen such weird, vivid and quirky ideas, like when Hagrid takes Harry wizard shopping for his school supplies and he taps the bricks and everything sort of falls away to this magic shopping district with brooms and owls and wands and stuff. That's pretty cool. Oh, and the train, just the way it goes from this humdrum modern day London train station to this old-fashioned bright red steam train with the fluffiest of smoke coming out of its funnel. Oh, it's hard not to be so enchanted by it all. And I reckon the best part about these magical elements is that even now, with all the stories we've had about urban fantasy and sort of a magic community living right under our noses, Harry Potter is still one of those things that could make you believe such a thing might exist, and in such a way that's still creative. Like, again, the shopping district and the train station sort of look like they could fit into our world, but they're just so much brighter and more whimsical. It's so wonderful. But even when they do get to Hogwarts, which is where you could argue is where the real meat of the story happens, they still dedicate a lot of time to just showing us all the magical elements of the world. We get to see the students learning how to ride their broomsticks. We get to know creatures like the house ghosts and the centaurs and unicorns living in the woods, and the Quidditch match. Oh, the Quidditch match. How does that game even work? You don't win until you catch the golden snitch, and the team that catches it automatically gets like 150 points. how long has a game of Quidditch gone on for? Like, do they just keep their students there until the game ends? That's fucked up. That's fucked up. Anyhow, but the really cool thing about how the story takes all of these detours and shows us all these things that are obviously just meant to show off some cool world building is that it still sort of stays tied to a consistent standalone story. It never feels like it's going off the rails or losing track. I mean, the film starts off with Harry living his humdrum muggle life at the Dursleys, and then Hagrid comes along, and then we spend some time at Hogwarts learning the tricks of the trade, of witchcraft and wizardry and wonder and whimsy and other such W words, and then we get to the whole Philosopher's Stone part of the story with mystery and action and all that good crap. One of my favourite scenes is when Harry comes across this magic mirror, this mirror that's supposed to show like your heart's innermost desires, and it shows him a reflection of him standing with his dead parents, and then Dumbledore comes in and talks about how people have gone mad staring at it because they just don't want to forget about seeing their desires instead of actually going for them. It's a really nice quiet moment that sort of shows us what Harry is going through, so it sort of ties into the story while also showing off something weird and magical. The film allows for a lot of nice quiet moments between all the whimsy, actually. I mean, this is still the first movie and the characters are still young, so this isn't like super dark. I was expecting that as well. It's gonna be more light-hearted and fun, but still have quite a few mature moments. I mean, Harry's parents were killed after all. In fact, Harry Potter himself, Daniel Radcliffe, is actually one of the reasons you get so invested in this world. I mean, I wasn't expecting too much of him, sort of the typical child actor first movie syndrome where he can't really emote well and yeah, but he just completely had me. He's very energized, he's very wide-eyed and enraptured by all this wizarding stuff, but he's also headstrong and determined and he's just a good lead character that you want to see come through and that you really want to root for. And the people playing Ron and Hermione, Rupert Grint and Emma Watson, they're good too. I mean, so far their characters aren't too much. I mean, Ron's kind of the goofy best friend and Hermione's kind of the know-it-all. But they play their parts well, and all three of them really feel like they could be friends. And the supporting actors are good. I mean, Dumbledore, the guy playing Dumbledore's good. The guy playing Hagrid is good. I especially like the guy playing Hagrid. And Malfoy. Ugh, god damn it, Malfoy. You know what? He's just one of those characters you absolutely love to hate. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if it was actually their intention to make you want to smack him just as much as Harry does by the end of the film. And on that note, I'd say they most definitely have succeeded. Actually, cool thing about Malfoy is that, well, it's not really cool, but more interesting. Anyway, about Malfoy is that the biggest concern to Ron, Hermione, Harry, and pretty much all of Gryffindor House, apart from this whole conspiracy thing that they kind of just got stumbled into, is that their biggest concern is winning the house cup and proving those stuck-up Slytherin kids wrong. You know, it's such typical school movie type stuff about trying to be the coolest house and everything, but it works because, you know, it's a family film and it's for kids, and yeah, it works for this film since it's just starting off. On another note, I guess I should talk about Snape. I mean, how can I not mention Alan Rickman? He's just he's good, although his performance in this film at least seems kind of heavy-handed and manipulative, and not in a manipulative to the character's kind of way, manipulative to the audience. I mean, it's obvious they were trying to make him look as villainous as possible. Plot twist: Snape is not really the bad guy, it's actually Professor Quill. And yeah, that is a good twist, and I really didn't see it coming, but when you look at it, it kind of makes how he just talks in this monotone and wears black and is interested in dark arts and all that crap. It just seems kind of silly how sort of evil they were trying to make him look, just to try and throw us off. But still a good performance, and yeah. Oh, and one more thing, another word to describe this movie. It's not just wonderful, it is huge. This is a huge movie. I mean, when you see Hogwarts for the first time as just this glowing castle sitting on top of a dark cliffside above the ocean, it just looks like this massive towering beacon of light, and it's just so breathtaking. And then of course the shifting staircases and the room with the levitating candles and stuff. The film just loves to show off the sheer scope of everything with wide shots and big sweeping camera motions through the environment. Oh, it's good, and the special effects. The special effects are good too. I was expecting a lot of CGI, and yeah, I got that, but for the most part it's used like very, very tastefully. Like the larger creatures, like the troll in the girl's bathroom, perv, is CG, but then the goblins working at the wizarding bank, they're like guys in makeup. So sort of all the special effects sort of work with one another to sort of make things look more believable, and it's effective. This film must have been a lot of work just to get the effects right with all the different things. Especially that scary face in the book. I mean, what the fuck? Anyhow, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone it's a good start to the series. I mean, it gives us, it wants to show us a good time and takes us on a wonderful trip through a magic world, and it lets us stay in those places for as long as we like, but it always knows how to pull us back and bring on the seriousness of the whole story as well. Really make us feel something. Well, this has been a good start to my Potterama. Yeah, I know the title sucks, and I'm looking forward to the next few ones. Until then, I'm a slacker named Charlie Simmons, and thank you for listening.